This is the third Minions film and the seventh installment if we count all the movies in the Despicable Me franchise. Before I went into the theater, I didn't have high expectations. I was simply expecting to watch these little yellow guys causing mayhem, doing whatever they like, and making me laugh. The story begins in a history museum where a guide is explaining the history of cinema. She eventually arrives at the story of James and Henry, who somehow become two of the most important figures in Hollywood. As the story unfolds, we get to see more of the Minions' origins as they continue their search for a master. One day, they stumble upon a Hollywood film set. I really enjoyed how the filmmakers blended the history of cinema with the Minions' adventures. This is where the film became more than I expected. It immediately got me interested in seeing how these Minions would rise to fame, while of course causing plenty of chaos along the way. James is an artist who loves drawing and telling stories to his fellow Minions. His creative mind often gets him into trouble, especially when dealing with their masters, making him feel like an outsider among the Minions. He later meets Henry, and the two quickly become friends. Henry never takes things too seriously. Their friendship as two outcasts adds a surprising amount of emotional depth to the story. Their dream is to make movies, which ties nicely into the history of cinema. There are plenty of references and cameos, along with moments showing the transition from silent films to movies with sound. This entire section was an absolute joy to watch. Later, they decide to make a monster movie, but they don't actually have a monster. Instead of using practical effects or costumes, they will try to summon a real monster from a magical book. I have to admit, that idea made me laugh. There is also a subplot involving an alien who is determined to invade Earth. From about the second half onward, the story mostly becomes the Minions trying to clean up their own messes, which is a familiar formula that fans of the franchise will already recognize. In the end, Minions 3 delivers exactly what I expected. Plenty of laughs, silly chaos, and fun moments. But it also surprised me by showing a little about the history of cinema while telling a heartfelt story about friendship and chasing creative dreams. There were 3 kids sitting beside me in the theater, probably around 10 years old, and they seemed to be having a great time. I think this film will easily entertain its target audience.